It's the opening round of the 2024 Bennett British Superbike Championship. We're in sunny Spain at the circuit of Navarra for the R&G British Talent Cup, which kicks off in the resplendent 25-degree track temperature, 18.6 degrees in the air. It is absolutely wonderful here, and we are looking forward to another exciting season of some of the world's best motorcycle races as they make their beginning of the journey on to sometimes international stardom. Last time, of course, in 2023, we saw Evan Belford claiming the championship. He's off to Red Bull Rookies for the 2024 season, and as such, we will be crowning a new champion for this year. Now, qualifying took place earlier on here today, and this man, Filip Sorowiak, will line up on the outside of the second row of the grid. He's been very fast so far in testing throughout 2024, and the Polish rider will be hoping for forward progress from there. Charlie Huntingford from the Moto Technics team. He starts fifth on the grid in the middle of the second row. Let's see how he is going to fare. And then a new name, rookie season in BTC. This is Mason Foster, highest British finisher ever in the European Superbike Championship in the Moto 4 class there, finished in P4. Also won at Estoril last year as well. Keep an eye out for Emmanuel Brinton. He has got some experience here, having lived in Spain for the majority of his life, and has also raced here, unlike a lot of other riders as well. Lucas Brown, he was a bit of a star throughout the 2023 season. This is his second in the class. 2 podiums at the Silverstone MotoGP round, on his way to 6th overall in the standings. But this man here, Julian Correa for the Microlice Cresswell Racing team from Jupiter in Florida. He's been receiving some coaching from former Moto2 racer Sean Dillon Kelly. He finished 5th overall in the standings throughout 2023 as well, with 2 victories and a further 2 podiums as well. Looking forward to seeing what is going to happen here as the riders are now lined up on the grid and ready to go. James Whittam, I think this is going to be pretty exciting. This is the first rung on the ladder for a lot of riders who've made their way up from mini motos and are trying to make a name for themselves.
Absolutely, yeah. They're all really, really keen. One of the things that makes it exciting is most of these bikes, most of the tracks we go to have a little bit of slipstream involved for these lower power bikes. These things have got about 50 horsepower. Hang on, somebody's got a problem.
Yeah, that's Lucas Brown on the second position on the grid on the front row. Just seeing whether he's...
No, I think he's just getting himself G'd up.
I think you're right, yeah. I thought he had a bit of a problem there.
That's his routine. Yeah, so these bikes, about 50 horsepower, about 85 or 90 kilos. So slipstream is a massive, massive factor in this racing. So it's really difficult to get away. Even if on a single lap on your own, you can do maybe even perhaps half a second quicker. That Emmanuel Brinton has done that. I think 7/10 quicker in one of the sessions. It's difficult to get away because you drag other people with you, and typically you get a 6, 7, 8, 10 rider dice at the front, and I'm expecting no different here.
Absolutely. Riders then heading off on to their formation lap for their first race of 3 actually here this weekend as well. So lots of action for the R&G British Talent Cup here in Spain. Looking forward to seeing what is going to happen over what is going to be a 14-lap race. So Emmanuel Brinton, he was disappointed actually after qualifying to not get himself onto pole position. As I said, he's one of the very few riders who's got a bit of experience around here.
He was really disappointed because he'd been quicker than everybody in every single session. I don't quite know what went wrong. Did he explain it to you?
No, he didn't. No, I just think he wasn't able to stitch the right sort of lap together. You know, there's a lot of riders out there. I mean, 29 on the grid.
Yeah,
so,
and one of Emmanuel's problems is he's a big lad for this class, and he's not a heavy lad. He's perhaps about 60 or 62 kilos. And remember, there's a minimum weight for the rider and the bike, so that the smaller, lighter riders don't have a massive advantage, which they would have. So there's no real advantage in terms or disadvantage in terms of weight for Emmanuel, but he's big and he sticks out and he's got elbows and shoulders, and that's wind resistance.
Absolutely. Here is the rest of the grid. Then you can see Dan Goodman there as well, with Josh Raymond Jr. and Clayton Evans alongside on row 4. Row 5, you've got Ryan Frost, Ben Jalif and Jack Burrows. Row 6, Josh Bannister, now with the Fibertech Honda team, Scott McPhee and Charlie Barnes for company alongside. Row 7, George Bowes with Alexander Rowan and Ewan Jones for company. Row 8, Samuel Munson, Bill Harris, who's the younger brother to Ronnie, with Tyler King alongside. Row 9 there, we've got Rahesh Khatri, Aziz Devine, and then Eli Banish. And the final row of the grid is completed by Harrison Mackay and crucially Peter Willis. Now, his lap time was disallowed in qualifying. He was disqualified for a fuel infringement.
Running illegal fuel, so I don't know quite what that means. They're very limited in what fuel they can run, and every aspect of these bikes, regulation-wise, they're all identical. They all should produce about identical power, and he was on, let's not say illegal. It makes it sound worse than it is. It's different fuel to the allowed fuel. It doesn't mean he put some rocket fuel in and had a massive advantage.
Got somebody going into the pit lane here on the warm-up. A couple of riders actually coming into the pit lane here as well. Hopefully we can just work out who those riders are that are not going to be taking to the starting grid for this race, and not the beginning to the season that they would have wanted. There's Ronnie Harris just on the right-hand side of your picture on board the number 66, the RS Racing Honda. Yep,
you see a lot of these riders weaving about. That's because these bikes are fairly light, like I said, 82 kilos, difficult to get heat into the tyres therefore, so even on a hot day like this, so what you do, you weave about a little bit, you try and get a bit of heat into your tyres so it doesn't cool off that much on the grid.
That's Charlie Huntingford that's come into the pit lane, I think, there by the looks of things. He was starting from the middle of the second row. He's had a difficult weekend, has had a couple of crashes, including one this morning, and one of the Fibertech Hondas also in some strife here as well. So that looks, just trying to look and see who that might be. I think it's Ryan Frost actually as well, and he was really quick last year. Not so much in qualifying, starting 13th on the grid is where he should have been.
8th in the championship last year. Had a good year.
It wasn't Huntingford actually. He's in the middle of the second row of the grid, so that's good news for him. Anyway, it's eyes on the lights then for the first time this year. The green flag is waved at the back. 14 laps of action. R&G British Talent Cup. Revs are rising, lights are out, and we're underway. Julian Correa leads the way from pole position with Lucas Brown. Emmanuel Brinton not getting such a good start, getting swallowed up a little bit by that second row of the grid, with Mason Foster, Charlie Huntingford and Philip Sorowiak trying to make their way through. Keep an eye out a little bit further back as well, as they all try to jostle for position. Some riders a little bit out of place compared to where they have been so far in free practice, but Julian Correa a little bit wide there through turn 3, but still manages to retain the lead for now. But Lucas Brown there nipping at his heels.
Yeah, a couple of riders on the green stuff there. You've got to keep off that early on. I don't think it'd be penalised because it's busy and you sometimes get shoved out there where you don't need to be. Really important here at Navarra to get a good clean opening lap because it's difficult to pass. Another couple of riders out wide. Still Julian at the front.
Yeah, Correa making a good start to this race. The American's his third season in the R&G British Talent Cup.
Yep, nice kid. He elected to run from digs in Britain, so he stayed here his first year, and then he commuted every single meeting back to Florida for the second season.
Yeah, very impressive. Charlie Huntington's not made such a brilliant start to this race. Middle of the second row, he's down to 9th place in the middle part of this opening lap. Lucas Brown there in second, just on his coattails there as well. You've got the number 16, that is Jack Burrows, who made an absolutely lightning start from the middle of the grid. He was down in 15th place. We've got a rider that's gone down the road. They're up and okay, fortunately, and that's one of the Sencat bikes that has ended up, I think that might be, is that Lucas Brown? There's 20, Charlie Barnes.
It's Charlie Barnes
who's gone down the road.
28 Charlie Barnes.
Yeah.
Preston rider.
Oh, that's a shame for Charlie on board the Sencat bike. He'll be disappointed. A couple more races, though, remaining this weekend. Emmanuel Brinton there now up into 3rd place. He's deposed the number 16 of Jack Burrows. They come across the timing line then at the end of this first lap. Correa it is that leads the way at the sharp end of the field.
Looks like we're getting a little bit of a breakaway group. Sometimes this happens when you're slipstreaming a lot down these long straights. You get a group that help each other, in actual fact.
Yeah, my apologies, by the way. It's actually Philip Sorowiak who's made a brilliant start on the number 75. He was 6th on the grid on the RS Racing machine. There's a few different riders in different colours for this year, and Sorowiak now up into 3rd place at the expense of Emmanuel Brinton. So he's there on the red machine.
Yep, London-based Paul. Chatting with his mum and his dad. They live in Morden in London. Real nice kid as well.
He is, lovely lad is Philip actually. First time he's been a part of a team throughout 2024 as well. He's used to a family-run outfit, and now he's over at the RS Racing squad, who've got a wealth of experience in these smaller classes.
Absolutely. Ryan Saxelby is the RS part of the RS Racing. Runs a lot of bikes. He's run two-strokes, mega engine builder and tuner back in two-strokes, and a championship race winner in the 125 class back in his days. Clever lad is Ryan.
Julian Correa slightly wide there through turn 9. Is that going to allow Lucas Brown to close over? You see the top 4 there building a bit of daylight over themselves, and Mason Foster already.
Yep. Once you drop back more than about, I would say about 40 or 50 metres at this track, on this straight, you're going to lose the slipstream and you'll drop off the pace.
Yeah, got a few riders a bit further back. Harley McCabe's in the mix there as well. You've got Charlie Huntingford, Ronnie Harris, Ollie Walker as well. He's part of the fibre technology. That's the MLAV team. New name, a new title sponsor for them throughout the 2024 season.
Yep, Ali McCabe, Halifax lad, up there in Yorkshire, number 7. Finished 4th in the championship last year. Second highest finisher that's still in this championship.
Yeah, knows their way around a motorcycle, does Harley McCabe. Saw some good performances from him throughout the 2023 season, I should say. He's hoping to build on that throughout this year as Correa now pulls out of the slipstream against Lucas Brown. Comes across the timing line then. Still in the lead of this race, and you can see now just in the background there, the number 88, Mason Foster, the rookie, now closing right up onto the back of this 4-rider battle for the lead. Saroviak there just having a half look on the inside of Brinton into 3.
Yeah, it was.
No room at the inn though for him for now, through into the left-hander. This first part of the circuit is just incredibly fast and flowing. It's amazing how technical it gets later on in the lap.
Exactly that. Now you're going downhill and then you start going uphill here. This is turn 5 and 6. New surface. The riders are saying it doesn't give a lot more grip, but it's a lot smoother, so you can use that grip. You can get to the edge of it quicker and feel safe. So great little corner that, or big corner actually.
Yeah, Ryan Frost has made some good ground in this race. He's now up into 6th position. Harley McCabe, Ronnie Harris as well with Charlie Huntsford. You just see them there in the background of your picture. Harley McCabe on board the number 7. He was on a blue and green machine last year.
Brinton, sorry to cut in. Emmanuel Brinton having a little bit of a look there. That's a clean pass for this class. It's
yeah, it is. That's not bad at all.
It's a good one.
Past the Sencat bike of Lucas Brown up into 2nd place. You can see just visibly how much taller
he's big lad.
Brinton is, can't you, on that bike?
Yeah. Like I said, there's a minimum weight limit for the rider and the bike, 148 kilos. The bikes weigh about 80 odd, so some of the riders, I think some of the smaller riders having to ballast maybe 6 or 7 kilos. You can put it where you want on the bike. We're chatting with Ryan Saxelby. He's got a ballast about 6 kilos for one of his riders. And he said he puts it inside the frame so it can't, glues it in and so it can't get loose. You can put it where you want in terms of weight distribution as well. So sometimes it doesn't make as much difference as what you think.
Brinton here have a really good run on the back of Julian Correa as he comes down the start-finish straight. Is he going to pull to the outside as we head in towards turn 1? But you're completely flat out on these bikes. On a super bike, you're lifting, you're just sort of rolling off the throttle really going into that first corner. On these, absolutely flat to the floor.
Correct. They don't even lift the heads. About 100, depends what gearing you've got on, what way we go here.
Saroviak.
That's Saroviak up the inside of Emmanuel Brinton.
That's a nice little move, that.
It was a clean move.
Just lost it on the exit though. Ran it wide, and that's left him now open to attack here from Brown, who's coming through on his outside. Mason Foster there just keeping a watching brief on proceedings. Now look at the momentum here for Brown. Is he going to go all the way around the outside in towards turn 5 and 6? He is.
He's made it work, and I didn't think it would.
That's brilliant there from Brown. He's going to put him slightly offline though.
That's it, yeah. It's a switchback, isn't it?
Yeah, slightly offline into turn 6, but he just about gathers it up. I think that's the thing, isn't it? With the British Talent Cup, these smaller capacity bikes, you can run a different variety of lines, and we often see that at different circuits.
Yeah, these things they don't accelerate from one corner to the next as quick as a superbike. Obviously, with 50 horsepower, it's not going to. So there is more variety of lines down the straights. They're doing here perhaps 135 miles an hour. So don't be fooled into thinking these things are slow bikes. They are not slow bikes. In terms of power to weight ratio, they're still sharp motorcycles.
Absolutely. Only 4 laps into this race, still plenty of it left to run, and you can see quite a pronounced gap. Top 5, 6 seconds ahead of Ryan Frost, Harley McCabe, and that battle that is continuing on a little bit further down the order. Yeah,
you see this sort of slipstreaming, what's the word? It splits into kind of bunches of riders that are all, even though they don't want to, they are helping each other to go a little bit quicker, and then you'll get another bunch and then another bunch with gaps in between.
Yep, out of the final corner we go then. Who is going to be enjoying the slipstream and reaping the benefits as we come across the timeline? Julian Correa, of course, doesn't have the advantage of that. He's punching that hole in the air for everybody else
to jump in.
Yeah. Let's have a look a little bit further back. This is Charlie Huntsman aboard the number 76. Just behind him, you've got the number 7 of Harley McCabe.
You've got things to worry about when you're in the slipstream. You're very, very close to the rider in front. That means you're not getting as much airflow over your radiator, which means the engine's going to get a little bit hotter. You've got to keep your eye on that. Also, sometimes the front tyres can cool off if the weather conditions promote that. and also if anything happens, the ride in front, if it leaks oil, if it blows up, or if it does anything daft, well, you're going to get involved, aren't you?
Oh, look at that Correa up the inside into turn 5. He's going to run
wide now, though.
Yeah, that's going to leave him open to attack here from Brinton and maybe even Lucas Brown as they come in towards this right-hander. The thing is, this right-hander of, turn 8, you come onto the back straight, you've got to get a good exit out of there. If you don't, you're going to be punished for it all the way down.
Yeah, the two important corners to get out of are turn 8 onto the back straight and turn 15 onto the front straight. The front straight one, it really is important, and especially more so on these bikes.
Yeah, let's have another look and see what happened here. Julian Correa, he just got slightly out of the seat there on the curb almost.
Yeah, that started earlier than we saw, I think.
Yeah, Brinton there going through on his inside. Decisive as ever from Emmanuel Brinton. Wide there in the back of the shot as well for Mason Foster, allowed Philip Soroviet to come past.
And Brown just waiting to pick up the pieces should anything go wrong to the pair of them.
Exactly that. On the brakes we go in towards this right-hander. This is the final section of the lap. This is where it's quite tight and quite technical, I think it's probably fair to say. And we've also seen a few riders also chucking it down the road, especially at this final corner.
Yeah, the last 3 corners are all close enough to each other, so if you mess one up, you're going to mess the next one up as well, especially on the bigger bikes. Not so much of a problem with these low-pad bikes.
Just saw one of the riders there. Something almost looked like a bit of debris came off of one of their bikes as they came along the start-finish straight. It doesn't look to be affecting anybody too much, but I wonder whether that was one of them or maybe a legacy of something else earlier on in the track.
Yeah, I don't know whether they run this same system with the 4-strokes, but on the 2-strokes, they used to put tape on the radiator with a bit of wire to the handlebars, so when the bike was getting warmer as the race went on, they could pull a strip of tape off the radiator and get it cooled a bit more. It might have been that.
How on earth do you have any hands to do anything left? You must have one over the clutch, one on the radiator.
Yeah, exactly that, yeah.
Through to the left-hander we go. Julian Correa it is that leads the way at the moment from Brinton. Mason Foster there in the background of your shot. Very nicely distinctive livery. Good for us up here in the commentary box. Sits in 5th place.
And it's difficult to see whether he's sat there having a laugh and enjoying himself and waiting for the others to make a mistake or to make a move himself later on in the race, or whether he's just clinging on.
Yeah, what do we like in terms of lap times? He's pretty even Stevens actually with Soroviet. Slightly faster the two of them were compared to Brown. I know they're all in packs and that's not necessarily relevant. It's quite difficult to tell, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
So in towards this middle sector we go then with these top 3 riders, line astern at the moment. Tell you what, Peter Willis having an absolute cracker right at the back of the field. He was 29th, he's now up into 11th place inside the points. Considering he was disqualified from qualifying, he has really made hay whilst the sun has shone here. Defensive line there from Brinton, just trying to thwart any attacks from Lucas Brown as we come in towards those final couple of corners. Through into the left, no moves being made by these riders as it stands for now. Out of the final corner it is Brinton who is chasing down Julian Correa. Lucas Brown there in 3rd.
And as you'd expect, the bikes are all the same, which means the tyres should all be the same, which they are. They don't get a choice of compound. They're on slicks. They are Dunlops, and they will go through around about maybe 5 tyres, 3 rears in a meeting and 2 fronts.
Oh, tight at the front here between
Brilliant,
Brinton and Correa.
Yeah. They're brave lads, aren't they?
Correa's not giving any quarter.
No.
Or Brown there with Soroviet trying to find his way through on the inside, but no way for the pole to get past on the red RS City lifting bike at the moment.
Julian Correa, your leader there, seems really keen on leading at all costs, and for me, you don't want to get shoved too far back in the group, which is easy done, but you don't really want to be that bothered about leading every single lap. Their bike, really wide that was, and it's cost him a little bit of time on the following corner.
Yeah, the thing is, Brinton could send it up the inside there, and he does, and he's going to allow Brown here possibly an opportunity to go back past as well. I suppose the good thing is here for Correa is he's now got the slipstream, that hole being punched in the air in front of him by Brinton.
And what he wants to do, and if it does come down to a last lap move on any of these guys from Correa, he needs to know what they're about. He needs to know what, exactly what lines they're doing, where they're going, where the strengths are, where the weaknesses are.
And also, look at this, we're going to go 3 wide into the left-hander. Brown gets 2 for the price of 1. That's a supermarket deal and a half, isn't it, from Lucas Brown?
Whether that might have been Julian Correa missing a gear there or something. He seemed to drop back and affect Brinton as well.
Well, it's worked out nicely there for Lucas Brown. The question is now he's in front, is he going to be able to stay there? There's a long way left in this race to run. The rider that's gone down the road, medics are out. And
That looks painful.
Yeah.
Looks like a collarbone.
That's a little bit sore, unfortunately, there for the rider that's gone down the road. It's Charlie Huntingford. Oh, that's his second big crash of the weekend on the Moto Technics bike. I wondered if it was. And unfortunately, after a big crash in testing where they had to completely reframe the bike because he...
Whoa!
Lucas Brown hits the back of Emmanuel Brinton across the line.
What did I say? You've got to keep your wits about you when you're slipstreaming as close as that. Honestly, that is so easily done, and that was nearly a big disaster, that.
Oh, goodness me, that was so close there. Seconds, millimetres away from disaster for Lucas Brown.
Absolutely, yep.
And now Philip Soroviak is picking up the pieces on the RS City lifting. Oh, that's good to see. Charlie Huntingford up and okay, walking away from that. Clearly just a little bit winded, but it has been a challenging week for him so far here in Spain. Mason Foster now is trying to join in on the action. Let's have a look here. So look at this, Lucas Brown.
Yeah, he missed a gear. I'm sure Lucas Brown, I'm sure Julian Correa missed a gear going down the gearbox, got into neutral. There, you saw him fiddling with his foot, and that's what cost him down. Now this on the straight. Now look at Lucas Brown. He slots into the slipstream and just catches. Saw the puff of smoke. That was as near to a complete disaster, 135 miles an hour, as you are gonna get, and it not happen.
Yeah, that would have.
Spoiled his day.
Yeah, make you feel like a polar bear in the Canaries, wouldn't it?
Oh, Brown! He's at it again.
Sends it to the inside of Emmanuel Brinton and gets the move done. That's into turn 11.
It has to be said in this class where they're on lower powered bikes that a little bit of aggression does pay dividends where it wouldn't in other classes.
Yeah, they're starting to go now, aren't they? They're starting to really pick up the pace as we head towards the latter stages now of this race. Lap 8 out of 14 we're on. Look at that, Correa now under attack here from Soroviak, who has a look to the inside, but no room at the in for now. Into turn 13, and sorry, turn 15 rather, the final corner on the lap. And across the timing line we go. Let's see whether Soroviak is going to go to the inside. I'm fairly sure he is.
Yep.
And he's going to take the lead away here from Julian Correa. Now the RS City lifting rider is in front, but is Correa going to immediately launch an attack back? They're coming into these decreasing radius right-handers.
Yeah, and what you get with decreasing radius is you've got to use the brakes and lean the bike over, and therein lies a little bit of danger.
Correa now on the defensive here from Emmanuel Brinton. So he's going from attacking to defending. What's it like when you're in this position? You're looking at the rider in front, but you've got to keep an eye on who's in your mirrors.
It depends. If you're struggling and sweating to stay where you are, you're just hoping that you can stay where you are and you'll figure it out, or you might get lucky. If you're within your sort of capabilities and you're sat with time to think at that pace, well, you're trying to come up with a plan. You're trying to spot where the riders you're going to have a go on the last lap or last couple of laps are strong, where they're weak, where their bikes are better than yours, maybe where they've got a little bit better setup on their bike, or whether you have. So you're figuring it out.
Harrison Mackay's having a good race just a little bit further down the order, by the way. He's made up some 12 places from his grid start, just on the fringe of the points and 16th at the moment.
The man who looks like he's sitting easiest and doing this pace the easiest and making passes the easiest is number 40 there, and that's Julian Correa, in my opinion. But that's not to say he's going to win. Anything can happen in these races.
No, absolutely not. He did take a couple of podiums last year. Didn't stand on the top step, though, so this would be sort of breaking his duck, as it were. But still plenty of this race left to run, and as we know, as we've seen in various different sort of smaller discipline classes, look at any Moto3 race, it's so hard to predict what is going to happen, and that's the same here.
Yep. You'll notice as well that Emmanuel Brinton, the man in second, big lad on the green and black liveried bike, he doesn't want to be leading down the start and finish straight, because he's a big hole in the air for everybody to slipstream. Like you say, that's Philip Soroviak getting a perfect slipstream past a bigger rider, so he needs to be behind somebody on the long straight.
Just saw Mason Foster there, arm off the handlebar as he was coming down the start-finish straight. I wondered briefly if he might have a problem, but I think he's just trying to see whether he can get Lucas Brown to work with him as he just dives to his inside at turn 3.
Yeah, that never works. What you do is you think, why are we fighting? Why didn't he follow me? We'll keep up with these riders in front a little bit easier if he does. So you wave your arm, stick him behind me, you point at the back of your bike, and it never works, but you always try it.
Yeah, certainly worth a go. Eli Banish just a little bit further down the order, also having a good race on one of the Fibertech Hondas as well. He's just down in 18th position at the moment. Doesn't sound like much, but he's made up a good number compared to where he started in this one. Soroviak there, having a half look to the inside of leader Julian Correa on board the Micro Ice Cresswell Racing Honda at the moment. Down this back straight we go, in towards turn 9. We're going to see anybody making any moves. Now you can see them, look, they're sort of moving out of the slipstream. This is where they're now starting to get aggressive. Oh! Brinton clatters into Philip Serowiak. 3 riders go down at turn 9. Well, it was inevitable. It was all going to kick off. Mason Foster, the other rider that's involved. And unfortunately, 3 riders down and out on lap 10 here at Navarra. Drama in Spain, drama in the first race.
The good news is they're all up and on the feet. Let's have a look.
Brinton's looking on the inside. He's going to clatter into Serowiak here, and I think Foster's going to be a bit of an innocent victim.
That's it. That was definitely Emmanuel Brinton's issue there. Good news is they're all up and walking away. And when you're running that close, it's always a possibility. So unlucky.
Yeah, as you said, the main thing is they're all up and okay. I mean,
yep.
That's is a very disappointing end to 3 riders' races, and I should imagine there are going to be some sore faces down in the paddock after this one.
And listen, they're all working out the same huge tent, so they've got to be next to each other working on the bikes.
It is quite literally going to be quite intense. Got another rider that's gone down the road. That's a Wilson Racing bike that's involved in some drama. The number 12, Tyler King, unfortunately has ended his race on lap 11 as well.
Well, fair attrition rate. One of the things about these bikes, because let's have a look.
This is into turn 5. That's a fast place to go down as well.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
So not the number 12, actually it's number 13 that's crashed out there. That is Rahesh Kadri, the Indian rider who was
wildcard.
Yeah, well, was originally wildcard. He's actually doing the full season.
Oh, is he? Brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But learning experience for Rahesh, and hopefully then get the bike fixed and he can get back out for races 2 and race 3 tomorrow. I tell you what, I was worried that it was going to be a bit of a damp squib, but it's still not over in this battle for the victory here. Correa and Brown, first and second, not far away from one another. What has happened here as well, with those 3 riders being eliminated, is it's promoted Ryan Frost up to the podium. You've got Clayton Edmonds up there, Harley McCabe, Ronnie Harris, all inside the top 10. Peter Willis up into 7th place, considering he was down in 29th and last on the grid after being disqualified. He'd bite your hand off if you offered him that position at the start of this race, so he'll be pleased.
Clayton Edmonds now, he's 64 up into 4th. We can't just see him on shot, he's a fair few seconds behind. Small fella, he's got to ballast his bike 7 kilos, and a determined lad when you speak to him.
Absolutely. A lot of these riders, of course, wanting to make a name for themselves, and unfortunately that's when sometimes you can push a little bit too hard, and that's what we saw from Brinton.
Yeah, they're keen, they want to impress, they're riding close, and sometimes that kind of thing can happen.
So then, across the timing line we go. Julian Correa in the Microlight Cresswell Racing bike leads from Lucas Brown. It has been a busy old race, this one, and there's still a few laps left to run. Look at the gap they've got, though, as well, compared to the rest of the field. This is the battle for the final podium place here. You've got Ryan Frost on the 24, then the red machine of Clayton Edmonds on the second City Lifting RS racing bike. Just behind him, Harley McCabe on board the red and white number 7, then Ronnie Harris on the green and black City RS racing bike, not the City Lifting bike, but still part of that same
team
outfit, isn't it?
Yes, it is, yep.
Yeah, so Ronnie Harris just keeping a watching brief on proceedings. Had a good season so far. His brother Bill, younger brother Bill, also competing in this one. He's up into 17th place in his debut in the class. And look at this, now at the front. In towards the right-hander of turn 8 we go.
Yeah, I noticed that this is onto the back straight, but I noticed a lap before that Brown's bike just doesn't seem to have the straight line speed. It's unusual because these bikes should be exactly the same, maybe a little bit, I don't know, maybe sticking out into the wind a little bit more, or he didn't get a really good drive out the last corner, maybe. But it looks to me like your man Julian Correa has got the slightly sharper bike, which just might be the difference come last lap.
Yeah, let's wait and see how this is going to work out. In terms of the lap times, actually, Brown was that little bit faster than Correa last time. 150.5 for Correa, 149.9 for Lucas Brown. So he's certainly got the pace, but the question is, is he going to be able to use it?
Yeah, these backs they're averaging, and bear in mind there's lots and lots of corners that in this track, 7 or 8 corners that are down at sort of 50 and 60 miles an hour, and these lads are still averaging on these lower powered bikes about 80 mile an hour around the lap.
Edmonds has got himself ahead of Ryan Frost there for 3rd place, so good news there for Clayton Edmonds.
That'll be a result for him.
And it will be for the RS Racing team as well, considering one of their riders ended up on the... 2 of their riders ended up on the deck, with Serowiak also being eliminated as well. So we'll see what is going to happen here. Harley McCabe, don't count him out as well. Rider from Halifax, up your end of the woods.
That's the next town on to Huddersfield, yeah.
So,
in fact, I was born in Halifax.
oh, there we go.
Managed to escape.
Ryan Frost now takes over third place, that final position on the podium. 2 laps left to run here at Navarra. And you wonder whether we're going to see Harley McCabe and the number 66 of Ronnie Harris featuring into this one. But Lucas Brown, he's not giving any quarter. I tell you where he's fast. He's coming through these right-handers in this first sector. That's where he looks really strong. But
yep.
it's down this back straight where he needs to think about sending a move, because if he leaves himself open to attack.
But look, he can't seem to make any ground, even with a really good drive out of that corner, turn 8, and a slipstream. So he's got to have his work cut out here.
Yeah, he's going to have to really put the pressure on in that sort of final sector of the lap. And well, we're keen to see how this is all going to play out here. Correa defending at the moment with the bridesmaid, but never the bride on quite a few occasions in the RNG British Talent Cup. Will he be walking his way to the altar in a lap's time?
Lucas Brown needs a cunning plan here. I don't think he can leave it to the last lap and rely on a slipstream. I think he's got to go earlier. So I think he's got to go early in the lap.
Well, at this point, would you be, what are you doing? Are you observing Correa, waiting to try and looking where he's strong, where he's weak, where you can pounce?
Yeah, you'd be a bit disappointed if you're Lucas Brown, because he's really good on the brakes. He seems to get out the corners really quite well, look, but then he gets in the slipstream and he can't really make a lot of headway unless he's sandbagging. You never know.
So across the timing line we go then.
He can just sit there, look. Or is he sandbagging? I don't know. He's certainly good at this first part of the circuit. Maybe he can get by now. And maybe he's waiting for the last lap.
Yeah, he's close. I reckon he's going to go for a move here into turn 3. He's looking on the inside, but Correa's got that covered. He's holding firm for now, is Julian Correa. It's a top 2 battle for victory, and Correa doesn't run it wide, doesn't allow an opportunity here for Lucas Brown. But we know he's not afraid of getting his elbows out. We saw him going around the outside earlier on in this race.
He's not. If it comes, it'll be on the brakes, I think. He looks strong on the brakes, does Lucas Brown.
Yeah, you can see him pushing the front end here, and he's looking to try and challenge, try and upset the rhythm here of Julian Correa through into the left of turn 6, then into the right of turn 7. Correa with that tighter line. We've seen that over the course of this one. It's all about the exit through turn 8 though, and Correa gets it to the apex first and gets good drive crucially out of this corner. Brown sitting there in second place, but he's close, nowhere near close enough to try and launch and move.
He's not, and even if he gets a really good slipstream 3 or 4 feet behind Julian Correa, he still can't make an headway.
Yeah, it's the middle sector of the lap where Brown really needs to try and push. But I tell you what, Correa, he's just beginning to push the envelope that a little bit more now at these closing stages of the race. He's slightly wide, though, through the left-hander of turn 11 into turn 12. Brown sniffs half a chance here as they run nose to tail on the run in towards turn 13. Correa goes for the defensive line. Brown's going to try and haul it around the outside here.
To the inside.
So switch back on the inside. Here comes Brown. There's a bit of hip and shoulder. A little bit of contact there between the two. Into the fast left kick we go. Lucas Brown it is that leads. Julian Correa is going to go surely for the inside line into the final corner, but it'll be a lunge from there.
He's going to be a slipstream now.
It's going to be a run to the line here between Brown and Correa. Who's going to take top honours in the first RNG British Talent Cup race of 2024? Brown versus Correa. Who gets in at the line? Julian Correa, 46,000th of a second to take his first victory of the 2024 season for the Microlice Cresswell Racing team. Second place is Lucas Brown, and third on the podium is Ryan Frost as well on board the Fibertech Honda. Fantastic start to life for him with the MLAV Racing squad. What a fantastic end to the race there.
Yeah, for his part, Lucas Brown played his cards absolutely perfectly, couldn't have done any more, and it still didn't work. Correa got a slightly quicker bike, he used a slipstream as well, he used his head, and it got him the win.
Yeah, there's some good battles going on further down the order as well. You've got Ben Jalif, Dan Goodman, George Bowes with Harrison Mackay in the mix there as well. That's all the positions just on the fringes of the top 10. Points down to 15th place in this race as well. Scott McPhee gets a couple of points there with 14th position, and it looks like Eli Banish is going to make his way onto the scoreboard here this afternoon as well. But what can we say about this man? Well, he hails from Jupiter in Florida, and that ride was on another planet. Julian Correa takes victory here in Navarra for Microlice Cresswell Racing in the opening race of the season. Well, not much time to rest for these riders. It's going to be go again time in a fairly short period, because we've got 2 more races to come here tomorrow. What a frenetic race that was. Action aplenty. Let's have a look at this final lap here, DeWitt.
Yep, Lucas Brown, as we go around the outside, gives him a really nice drive out. That gives him, that's turn 13, we're coming up to 14 now, the penultimate corner. He's done everything right, and he comes out the last corner good, and yet still Julian Correa has a little bit of a speed advantage on the bike, uses the slipstream perfectly, can't get any closer. Brilliant win for him.
46 thousandths of a second separating Julian Correa and the number 29 of Lucas Brown at the checkered flag, and delight for Correa as well. As I said earlier on, he's always been the bridesmaid but never the bride. Didn't stand on the top step of the podium last year. He opens his checkbook with a fantastic performance.
5 or 6 podiums though, didn't you?
Oh yeah, he's been on the podium a good number of
Yep.
times, but just never the top step. And now he'll be going back to Florida on, was it Monday, Tuesday morning, something along the lines of that, with a nice trophy in his hands.
That's a lot of flying. I hope it's business class.
Well, to the applause of the crowd here in Navarra, they've enjoyed some fantastic racing for the R&G British Talent Cup. As we see Correa making his way back in.
Yes, Paul, good job.
You got a lot more to go, baby. Nice work. Good job.
Julian Correa celebrates with the Microlice Cresswell Racing team down in Parc Ferme, opens his account with a win for 2024. Second place there for Lucas Brown, gave it as good as he could, but at the end of the race it wasn't quite enough to be crowned top dog. Third place on the podium as well, of course, was Ryan Frost. Let's confirm those results then for you for race 1. Julian Correa takes the win ahead of Lucas Brown and Ryan Frost. Great ride from Clayton Edmonds in 4th place ahead of Harley McCabe inside the top 5 on the family run machine. Then Ronnie Harris, Peter Willis, who was at the back of the grid, 29th up to 7th. That's a good day at the office for the 99. Dan Goodman there in 8th place ahead of Ben Jalif, and then George Bowles in 10th position. Josh Raymond Jr. on his debut on board the 91, just outside of the top 10, but crucially points on the board ahead of Harrison Mackay on the Wilson Racing Honda. Alexander Rowan, Scott McPhee and Eli Banish completing the points. The Munson burner, Samuel Munson in 16th place, just on the fringes of it. Bill Harris in his debut finishes 17th ahead of Jones, King and Devine completing the top 20. We saw some DNFs though, Brinton, Soroviak and Foster all coming to blows in the closing stages of that race. We also lost Raheesh Khatri as well in the closing stages for that one on the Wilson Racing bike. Charlie Huntingford was down and out, unfortunately disappointing end to the Motor Technics riders race. Ollie Walker was another DNF, and likewise Charlie Barnes as well. They were the two riders who unfortunately, well, Charlie Barnes especially was the rider who didn't manage to get going in that one.
Julian, from pole position to victory, and what an incredible way to do it with that last lap scrap. Just talk us through it.
Yeah, it was a really good race. From the start, I had a wicked start, really good start, and just try to focus on, working my own pace, and just getting ahead of all the carnage. I knew behind they were going to battle, they were going to fight, and I didn't want to be any part of it. So overall, a really good race. Really looking forward to tomorrow. Just got to thank the whole Microlice Cresswell Racing team, HJC Helmets, GRC Leathers, the whole 40 fan club, Dunlop for giving us the grip, just everything. Everyone, thank you all so much.
The chasing pack will be bringing the fight tomorrow. What's your plan ahead of tomorrow's race?
To do the same thing, just get out in front. I know that I'm able to do it after today's race. Just going to go out, be aggressive, put down my times, and, look for the same result.
Well done, mate. Good luck.
Thank you.
Julian Correa then, his first victory of the 2024 season. I think he's pretty happy with that one.
He is, and actually his theory of keeping out the trouble because he didn't want any part of it worked to a charm. It doesn't sometimes, because it gives other riders that are behind you a chance to have a look at what you're doing and where your strengths and weaknesses are, but actually in this instance, what a good decision.
Well, the thing is, you learn so much at this level, don't you? As a young rider, when you're making your way through, about racecraft, so you can apply that when you get, in theory, to the bigger stages.
Exactly, yeah, but it did stay out of trouble, and like I said, in this instance, it paid big dividends there, didn't it?
Yeah, it certainly did. He'll be pretty pleased with that. Of course, not much time to rest, though. It's go again time tomorrow. 2 more races, 3 in total this weekend.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be too warm for him. He's from Florida. I think he'll be enjoying himself.
Harrison Desoy down there just congratulating Julian Correa. Of course, former competitor in the BTC was Harrison as of last year. Has now made the step over to pastures new in the British Superbike paddock for this year. I love this, all the camaraderie and how everyone just gets on so well.
This is what it's all about, honestly.
Yeah, really, really nice for Julian Correa. And looking forward to seeing what the celebrations will be like on the podium. A shame there, though, for a few riders, you know, Emmanuel Brinton, Mason
Absolutely,
Foster,
yeah.
Philip Soroviak on the other side of the coin.
Not his fault.
No, they'll be bitterly disappointed with the end to their races, and well, that's the way it goes sometimes. Plenty of time to reimagine things tomorrow. I suppose the one saving grace is that they'll be on for a good grid position because, of course, they were able to set good lap times in that race. Well, there is the podium. For the first time in 2024, we'll have our 3 riders making their way up onto it. And Ryan Frost, of course, occupying 3rd position. Just have a look back through my notes, and he wasn't actually on the podium last year. I thought he managed to get one, but he got 4th place 3 times. And now he will finally stand and take home some silverware. Well, take back to the tent some silverware.
You see how small these bikes are, these Honda NSF 250s? Because Julian Correa is not a big fella. He's a small lad, and actually looks huge on that bike.
Yeah, I know. It's Emmanuel Brinton that I like seeing riding, because he's about 6 foot. He's taller than me.
Yeah,
you know, he absolutely dwarfs the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic result from them, from these 3 riders especially. Sencat talent team there on the left-hand side. That is Lucas Brown. Let's have a listen in here.
That was like the Asian. Yeah, it was like, whoa. I managed to lead the whole thing. I got overtaken 2 times by Harley and Clayton. But to be fair, I've got I got put to the back of the group and then I couldn't.
Also, it's really good to be meeting people from pretty much all over the world. We've got several different nationalities, and like you said, they all seem to get on. They learn a bit off each other. You can see how they're yapping together. That's got to be great fun.
The good thing is, because they're so young, they haven't learned to use bad language in their sentences.
Do not kid yourself there. Yeah. I'm sure they know as much swearing as you do.
Well, 3rd place then for the first time in his British Talent Cup career is Ryan Frost. 2nd place there for Lucas Brown as well. Took a couple of podiums, I should say. Took 6 podiums in 2023 and has another one to his account. This man here, Julian Correa, so near yet so far last year. He's gone with continuity. He's stuck with the Microlight Cresswell racing team, and now he stands atop the podium for the very first time this year as well. 3 different teams in the top 3 positions, and now the trophies to be presented to the top 3 riders. First of all there to Ryan Frost. I imagine he'll be sticking that on the toolbox and using it as motivation for tomorrow. 2nd place there for Lucas Brown. Great ride from Lucas, really tried hard, was leading it right up until the checkered flag. And then, of course, Julian Correa, top dog here in Spain, his first victory, I'm sure, of many in the 2024 season. Well, let's have a look then, shall we, at highlights from the opening race of the season for the R&G British Talent Cup. It was always going to be a frenetic affair, with Julian Correa kicking it off from pole position. As we headed down towards the first corner, Lucas Brown swallowed himself into 2nd place, and we saw Mason Foster going side by side with Philip Soroviak as well. Emmanuel Brinton didn't take long to get involved in the action as he challenged. We saw Lucas Brown there siding it up the inside, 2 for the price of 1 in the middle sector of the lap. It became a 5-way scrap out in front. These top 5 riders quickly managed to build a gap. We saw some contact on circuit. We saw drama as well with riders going down. The upshot is that Correa took the checkered flag. Of course, 3 riders ending up crashing out of the race, and here is where it all kicked off between Lucas Brown and Julian Correa on the final lap. Correa there, slightly wide, switched back on the inside for Lucas Brown, and then to the line. It was Correa who took the first victory of the season.
Loads of top-class motorsport to feast on over the next week on our various platforms. The 6 hours of Imola World Endurance is live on Eurosport 2 tomorrow from 11:30. Jorge Martin takes the MotoGP World Championship lead home to Jerez next weekend. Susie and Nat and the boys will be there for live coverage of the Grand Prix of Spain. TNT Sports 2 from Friday morning, 8 o'clock. The 30th season of the Speedway Grand Prix era gets underway in Croatia next Saturday night as well. That's live on Eurosport 2. And the British Speedway is back as well. Birmingham Brummies back in the top flight for the first time in a decade. See how they get on against the Bellevue Aces. That's live on Eurosport 2 on the 29th of April. Right, a bit of a blast from the past for BSB fans here at Navarra. A little bit earlier on, James Ellison made his racing return in the BMW F900 R Cup. He was out on the grid for Heat Race 1.
Well, here is the grid then for the first race of the season. Mason Johnson starts this one on pole position with Christian Smith and Bobby Vary alongside him on the front row. Row 2 is James Ellison, returning as a one-off for this weekend with James Kelly and Paul Young alongside him. The third row, Sam West, used to seeing him in Stock 1000. He's made the step over to the BMW F900Rs this weekend with Derek Shields and James Cleary for company. Row 4, Jamie Haynes-Elliott making her debut with Harley Preble in the Evil Canoodle Levers. He is Stock Car